You guys, the Love Island reunion might have looked dramatic on screen, but what's happening after the camera stopped rolling? Honestly, it's even messier. People thought the reunion tied up all the drama neatly. But now it feels like the real story is just beginning. Friendships are breaking, hidden receipts are surfacing, and even Netflix itself is throwing shade in ways no one saw coming. So let's break this down, because the tea is hotter now than it was on the reunion stage. Right after the reunion, fans noticed something strange. Nick unfollowed Huda on Instagram. That doesn't sound too wild at first, but here's the weird part. The reunion was filmed 2 weeks before it aired. If Nick really wanted to cut ties with Huda because of what went down, why wait? Why not unfollow her the moment cameras stopped rolling? That delay has fans convinced there's more to the story. And it's confusing, because Nick has said very different things in the past. On a podcast, he admitted Huda was isolated in the villa and even suggested the girls had teamed up against her. He wasn't sure whether it counted as bullying, but he definitely saw the separation, so at one point he clearly understood Huda's side. Yet now, after the reunion, he unfollows her to back Alandria. It's like he completely flipped his stance. So the question is, did Nick change his mind? Or is he just trying to rewrite history to protect his current relationship? Fans aren't buying the timing. But this is only the beginning, because Jeremiah jumped in, and what he revealed makes the whole reunion look suspicious. Jeremiah couldn't stay quiet after the reunion aired. He hopped on Snapchat and basically said, "What you saw wasn't even half the story. Whole moments were left out, including Nick actually standing up for Alandria." And it wasn't just that. Jeremiah said the reunion edits made it look like the Islanders were still clashing, when in reality, a lot of people had already made peace. According to Jeremiah, the reunion left out the real makeup moments. The hugs, the conversations, the emotional apologies. That was all missing. Instead, the final cut made it look like tensions were still boiling when, in his words, people made up harder than it looked. And here's the wildest part. Amaya showed up with receipts, 7 pages to be exact. But none of that ever made it to air. Imagine preparing 37 pages of evidence, only to have it cut from the show. That tells you producers weren't interested in showing the whole truth. They wanted the drama. And Jeremiah wasn't the only one claiming his story was buried. Austin came forward too, saying he had a total crash-out moment during the reunion. He was heated, emotions spilling out, but apparently it never aired. Instead, he teased that he might eventually do a tell-all about what really happened. The fact that he even considered dropping a tell-all tells fans just how much must have been swept under the rug. If producers are cutting out meltdowns, reconciliations, and even hard evidence, then the reunion we saw wasn't a reunion. It was a highlight reel of whatever they thought would trend the most. But if you thought the Islanders were the only ones stirring things up, Netflix itself jumped into the mess in a way that no one expected. During the reunion, Huda made a comment that raised eyebrows. She said she wasn't legally allowed to talk about who she's seeing right now. That's a strong statement, and it made fans wonder what she meant. Was there some secret relationship clause? A hidden contract? Netflix's response? Pure chaos. They changed their bio on X to "Don't at me. I don't know." Then they went even further and made a billboard mocking the situation. The billboard literally said, "You have my permission to replace no with I can't. It's Netflix." People immediately caught on. This wasn't just shade at Huda, it was also aimed at Andy Cohen, who pushed her about her dating life during the reunion. Netflix basically clapped back at its own host. And to make it even spicier, Louise from Perfect Match posted a TikTok defending Huda, saying she was protecting him by staying quiet. So on one hand, Huda's getting dragged for being secretive, but on the other, Netflix is making it into a meme, and her rumored guy is backing her up. If that's not messy, I don't know what is. But hold on, because Ace wasn't about to stay quiet either. And his interview honestly blew the lid off everything. Ace sat down for an interview where he basically torched the entire edit of the show. According to him, producers weren't just cutting scenes, they were actively steering relationships. He claimed outside influences pressured Islanders to stick with certain people, even when they wanted to explore other connections. And he didn't stop there. He flat out said Nick and Alandria's relationship was more about optics than actual romance. In the villa, he insisted they admitted to finding each other attractive, but there wasn't a real spark. Once they got out, the public's reaction and the edit pushed them together. Ace also revealed that producers influenced votes, including one that kept Huda in the villa. He said if it had been up to him, Jalen would have stayed instead. Basically, he accused production of rigging the storyline, and if that wasn't enough, Ace admitted that his friendship with Nick had cooled since leaving the villa. He said Nick didn't defend him publicly when he should have, and that's why they're no longer close. That's a bombshell, because in the villa, they were tight. Outside? Not so much. Ace's honesty might have burned bridges, but it also confirmed what fans had been suspecting for months, that the Love Island storylines weren't as real as they looked. And Ace wasn't the only one with complaints about editing. Vanna came out saying that one of her biggest reunion moments, standing up for Alandria, was completely cut. She even deleted a TikTok where she vented about it. Fans also noticed how the heart rate challenge was edited to make Huda look like she was doing too much, while Ace's role in it was barely addressed. When pressed, Ace admitted he looked like he was enjoying it, but insisted he felt uncomfortable and was just trying to play along. Still, the way producers framed it left Huda carrying the blame. The more you hear these stories, the clearer it becomes. The reunion wasn't about closure. It was about crafting the messiest narrative possible. As if all of that weren't enough, Amaya jumped online and confirmed her split with Brian. She posted a heartfelt message saying they were on two different journeys and their visions just didn't align. She even added, "You don't have to drink the whole sea to know it's salty." That breakup came just days after the reunion aired, piling more drama onto an already chaotic week. Now fans are left wondering, if so many relationships are falling apart this fast, how many of them were ever real to begin with? So where does that leave us? We've got Nick unfollowing Huda, Jeremiah hinting at missing receipts, Austin teasing a meltdown, Huda clashing with Netflix itself, Ace exposing producer influence, Vanna revealing cutscenes, and Amaya announcing a breakup. If this is what we know just 2 weeks after the reunion,